This morning, a key chapter in the first ever criminal trial of an American ex-president came to a close. The testimony phase of the people of the great state of New York versus Donald J. Trump is over after the defense rested its case, and Trump, in the end, costing my friend Vaughn a stake, did not testify. Although just a few weeks ago, he said this, quote, "I'm testifying. I tell the truth." Whatever that means. Happening right now in court, prosecutors and Trump's defense attorneys are discussing the instructions that Judge Juan Merchan will give to the jury when they get the case. It's dense and complicated, but incredibly important, especially in a case like this one, where Donald Trump faces 34 felony charges for falsifying business records in order to conceal another crime. We'll keep you posted on all of the updates out of those proceedings, but we turn now to the dramatic events this morning in court. Team Trump resting its case after putting on the stand just two witnesses. One was a paralegal and the other was the attorney Robert Costello. And whatever credibility he had left after his outbursts in court, the ones that resulted in Judge Merchan clearing the courtroom to admonish him, whatever remained was ripped to shreds in a matter of a few explosive moments during cross-examination this morning by prosecutor Susan Hoffinger. With jurors reportedly paying close attention, the DA's office showed emails written by Costello himself that clearly show that he worked to manipulate Michael Cohen, even as he claimed to be his lawyer. He wrote in an email to his partner Jeff Citron that they needed to get, quote, Michael Cohen on the right page without giving him the appearance that we are following instructions from Giuliani or the president. In my opinion, this is the clear and correct strategy, end quote. Then the prosecutor, Susan Hoffinger, threw his own words back in his face from NBC's reporting from inside the courthouse. Quote, as you said yesterday, Hoffinger asked, quote, the email speaks for itself, correct? Costello's reply, quote, sometimes. Prosecutors also entered into evidence another email from this attorney, Costello, to Michael Cohen that read, quote, you're making a very big mistake. If you believe the stories these journalists are writing about you, they want you to cave. They want you to fail. They do not want you to persevere and succeed. If you really believe you are not being supported properly by your former boss, then you should make your opinion known. Then there's more. The DA's office showed an email from Costello to his own partner that read, quote, tune into CNN and see how they're playing this up. He has to know this. He just continues to slow play us and the president. What should I say to this a-hole? He is playing with the most powerful man on the planet, end quote. No wonder he didn't hire him. No surprise then that Michael Cohen, the Michael Cohen, is the one that puts distance between himself and this guy, this lawyer, Costello. You'll recall he testified last week to this, quote, there was something really sketchy and wrong about him, end quote. Now, all of this whole testimony phase of the Trump election interference hush money trial coming to an end with a gamble gone wrong by Team Trump is where we begin today with some of our favorite reporters and friends. With us at the table, former top prosecutor at the Department of Justice, MSNBC legal analyst Andrew Weissmann, plus New York Times investigative reporter Suzanne Craig is back with us, the former executive editor with American Media Inc. and special correspondent for The Hollywood Reporter, Lachlan Cartwright, joins us, and special on-set guest, NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hilliard has made his way from the courthouse to be with us on set. I want to show you guys, because you've constantly reminded me that there are some very able attorneys sitting at Trump's table. The Costello thing seems like a debacle to me. Again, I speak only as someone who's been picked to sit on a jury, not as anyone who's ever prosecuted or defended anyone in a criminal context. But this is what Fox News was saying about the kill shot that this Costello character could deliver.
Quite frankly, Costello is a kill shot witness.
After I just heard from Bob Costello, I think Trump should put him on as a witness.
If Michael Cohen didn't already totally destroy Bragg's prosecution, there's one potential witness. Now, Martha said there might not be any other witnesses called, but there is one who could deal the final blow, perhaps, former Cohen legal advisor, unofficially, Bob Costello.
Did they want him to implode? What did they want?
Let's start with you don't know how a jury is going to take any of this. And so I'm going to give my opinion as somebody who's litigated. I don't know how it's playing to the jury. There are things that didn't make any sense in terms of how to try this case. I've talked about, I do not understand why you give a hard cross to Stormy Daniels, whose evidence was, it doesn't matter whether you believe her or not, but you don't do a hard cross on David Pecker and Hope Hicks, who had really damaging testimony. So that has to be coming from Donald Trump, not from a good defense team. Robert Costello, if you are the prosecution, you had to be going, thank you. I think he did provide a kill shot, but not in the way that Fox News intended. This was devastating evidence. It was an exhibit to exactly what Michael Cohen had said was going on. It is so mob. It is exactly what happens in mob cases where you have lawyers sent in to find out, are you cooperating? We really represent the boss. We're trying to, that's who we really are doing. That is what the jury could conclude. Obviously, the witness said that's not true. The problem for him is you were reading from, it's in black and white. And Michael Cohen said, I didn't trust him. I thought essentially everything was going to get passed up to the president. And there it was in black and white. And that is why he didn't hire him.
So again, I try to say this at least once every hour. We have no idea how the jury has received any of this. But if this is an exercise in relativity, relative to Michael Cohen, who's a bigger thug, Donald Trump, the guy who's on trial, or me, I mean, Costello points the Klieg lights back to Donald Trump.
You would have thought that the hard part for the prosecution is ending the case with Michael Cohen. That was a pretty bold move. Usually you sandwich him, with other stuff, and you end with like a more innocuous witness who's like, here are some records, something like that. But that issue was solved by the defense putting on their first witness, who was a paralegal, who basically said, you know what Todd Blanche told you and stretched the truth about the 75 calls, that was wrong. And I'm not going to be a fall guy for that. So that was like a little amuse-bouche to the real issue, which was that Costello got on, and I just thought there was such a huge mistake. Plus, Costello had been in the grand jury a year before, so the prosecution knew exactly what it was going to say. They get a year to prepare for this. And Susan Hoffinger, if you want to see really good lawyering, Susan Hoffinger's cross-examination was masterful.
Okay, so we're going to read it. This is what happened, Suzanne. Mr. Cohen. Actually, this is from Cohen's testimony on May 14th. Mr. Cohen, did you ever tell the truth to Mr. Costello about Donald Trump's involvement in AMI's purchase of Karen McDougal's story to prevent that coming out before the election of Donald Trump's involvement and direction to you paying Stormy Daniels to prevent her story from coming out? So was Costello in possession of the truth? Michael Cohen, no. Why did you not tell Mr. Costello the truth about Trump's involvement in those matters? Cohen, this is on direct. I didn't trust him, meaning Bob Costello, and I was still remaining loyal to Trump. Question, did you believe that if you told him the truth that he would tell that to someone? Cohen, yes. Who did you believe he would tell it to? I believed, based upon all our conversations, that he would immediately run back to Giuliani and that our communication would be divulged to President Trump. So this is yesterday when they cleared the courthouse. Right. We didn't know when we were all here together yesterday, when we were on the air at 4, what had happened, but it wasn't sealed, so it was released in the transcript last night. The judge, okay. So when there's a witness on the stand, if you don't like my ruling, you don't say, geez, okay? And then you don't say, strike it, because I'm the only one that can strike testimony in the courtroom. Do you understand that? Costello, I understand. Mershon, okay. And then if you don't like my ruling, you don't give me side-eye and you don't roll your eyes. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Costello, I understand that. I understand what you're saying. The judge, okay, thank you. Now let's get the jury back. Are you staring me down right now? Costello, no, I'm just wondering how. The judge, clear the courtroom, please. Clear the courtroom. The judge, all right, let the record reflect that it's now 5 after 4. I'm putting you on notice that your conduct is contemptuous. If you try to stare me down one more time, I will remove you from the stand. I will strike his entire testimony. Do you understand me? Trump's lawyer, yes, Judge, I understand. Judge Mershon, listen to the question and answer the question. Costello, can I say something, please? Judge Merchan, no, this is not a conversation. Costello, okay.
Yeah.
So that was yesterday.
Yeah.
And then today, they bring the prosecution back to its strongest witness, documents.
Right. I mean, it was really, going through those emails was incredibly powerful. And at a certain point, if it looks like a rat and walks like it is a rat. And that's exactly how he came across in the courtroom. Once those emails were read out, they were incredibly powerful. Hoffinger's cross, it was really, I mean, it was masterful. I mean, she just kept it right, locked on him tight, and got him through it. And it was, I thought it was efficient too, and I think the jury probably appreciated that. I thought all of it was very smart by them. I just am still marveled by the fact that they, from their own, discussions, and when they're processing Cohen, they think they really landed some shots. So if we just think about that, on the last day of his testimony, he admitted from stealing from the Trump organization. So he's admitted to stealing, he's admitting to lying. And instead of letting that linger with the jury, they let this happen. And now the jury's gone for a week, and the last testimony in their mind is Costello. I mean, it's really something.